the reigning, defending, undefeated Andre Berto. Vicious Victor Ortiz.
I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
Contemporaries as amateurs, they never knew each other personally.
Probably one of the most explosive fighters that I've known, but physically I think he's still stronger, even though
both guys have come out throwing very hard punches.
But on the other hand, Berto has a reputation of being questionable in terms of his ability to take a punch.
Throwing around very menacing comments recently, quoting Mike Tyson. But so far in the first round, Berto is busier, and down goes Berto on a hard left hand by Ortiz, and Michael Ortega is not going to rule it a knockdown. He's going to say that Berto tripped over Ortiz's foot. Ortega immediately made the ruling.
Blow landed anywhere above the waist, and it did. Even if it was a grazing blow, he blocked. He wouldn't have went down there had I been hit.
Berto staggered again. Straight left hand by Ortiz. And Berto does go down in the corner this time, so now Ortiz has the credit for the knockdown that he didn't get the first time around.
Hey,
Andre Berto has a whole new respect for Victor Ortiz's punching power.
A fighter inside as well as outside. Berto, I find myself surprised by that.
I'm stunned. Berto pastes Ortiz.
But I don't know what's going to happen tonight.
Let him out.
Came from behind in the late rounds to reel in Collazo. Biggest shot as the left hand that put him down in the corner.
Here we see the left hand shot that landed by Ortiz, even though it wasn't a clean blow, to me officially was a knockdown.
Don't worry about that shit. Okay? Don't worry about that shit.
Another southpaw who is basically a right-hander.
Berto has a look of concern in his eyes in light of how Maidana ultimately got the better of him physically in the fight. Straight left hand.
Back in January.
Presumably a stronger opponent.
Peculiar story of winding up spending 2 weeks.
Motion for Ortiz to come in. Ortiz would wrap him with a good shot.
All of Ortiz's punches are very
There's the right hand again, and now Berto has a knockdown.
That's an official knockdown, but it was probably due to balance, but still it's an official knockdown.
Ortiz's glove touched the canvas. It was clearly the result of the punch. So now, the second and third are knockdowns for, respectively, Ortiz and now Berto. More willing to let his hands go. More fearless in the first couple of rounds. But Berto is starting.
I think Berto is really still weak. His legs.
Again, Berto motions him in.
What is that? That manual?
Hard right hand by Berto, another big hook. Ortiz had a big first round, he's having a big third. Is the move to welterweight a rejuvenation for him, because in his previous 9 fights
that he was able to take that punch the way he did.
If it becomes a boxing match, Berto has faster hands than has been the case with Ortiz's power shots before.
Really, his legs is not that straight right now, and he needs the ropes to hold him up.
This was part of the mantra for Ortiz coming into the fight.
Fighting this fight as though he just needs one punch to change it all.
And Berto alternating between looks of desperation and determination.
He's throwing that left hand from far. Don't throw it that way. Get closer and move to the right. Get in and throw.
Jim, I gave each guy a 10-8 round for the knockdowns in round 1 and 2.
From the slugfest, which has taken place so far. But they're back to slugging again.
But it's his whole state of mind coming into this fight, that he was facing an inferior fight.
He's been a welterweight fighting in the junior welterweight division, and right now, it looks every bit to be true.
On the tiny island of Jersey off the English coast.
But what's the motioning Ortiz in?
That's it.
Certainly Bradley and Alexander didn't produce anything like the fireworks we saw in the first round here. Good uppercut by Berto.
Slow start for him, or is it just Ortiz?
I think it's Ortiz.
Ortiz is a man on a mission tonight.
Break.
Ortiz wasn't hurt that bad when he got up as compared to the way Berto was when he went down.
Uppercut lands for Ortiz. Ortiz still physically dominant into the 5th round.
Doing a very effective job of shooting short, accurate punches.
If you've just tuned in, it has been blazing and thrilling so far. It's still a slugfest, and the slugfest advantages have still seemed to belong. Let's see if Berto has his composure back.
Yeah, very explosive, and he still has a lot of situation as a professional. Palazzo was a tough fight, but not, and he's tired.
Big left hand by Berto. Ortiz walked right through it.
Yeah.
Looks really broad.
But you let the guy keep throwing those punches. He's playing the numbers game soon.
Ortiz testing Berto's legs once again.
As compared to Berto, it still shows to me he has a lot more left in the tank. But he was in New York Golden Gloves.
Just making the distinction for you. Down goes Ortiz on a perfect right hand shot by Berto. Second knockdown of the fight for Berto. And you can feel the fight in his legs again. Now beats Ortiz. Hard right hand by Berto.
Now he realizes the clock is ticking out, so he's trying to get that one shot on.
His uppercut is good too. Now Ortiz is gonna.
Oh my God!
Unbelievable! What a fight! George Foreman and Ron Lyle stand aside.
And
Connecticut.
you can see Mike Ortega getting in position to stop the fight, and then Berto goes down.
Unbelievable.
Yes, Ortiz coming in, didn't do anything wrong. Split second, that's what's boxing about.
The phrase fight of the year candidate is perhaps a bit overused, but
he still came back the next round fighting with the same energy and the same spirit.
Change a slugfest into a boxing match.
I'm overexcited.
Thank you.
Just step back.
The first
Looks
fight.
like there's a new welterweight in town, and his name is Victor Ortiz.
And this is the first fight.
Come on, let's go. Stop the holding.
Because I thought that he did a little bit more in the 3 minutes of action. 4 rounds to 2, Ortiz. I mean, I agree with you. I don't know why he kept motioning him in, because every time Berto...
And you saw the wobble there by Andre Berto.
I do like the way he breaks them up quickly and doesn't let those clinches go on.
There's never been any lack of power in the punches, and especially Berto, which is surprising. That's good spring and energy in it, and he's got to try to land that right hand.
Well, let's get the numerical drama from...
He's got tremendous power.
The slugfest continues in round 8 in Connecticut.
Let him out. All right, let him out. You're holding. Let him out.
Next Mexican-American who would be a big box office attraction.
Michael Ortega warning Ortiz for hitting Berto in the back of the head.
I think Ortega...
And if his legs are that badly weak, Emmanuel, maybe he's not punching at full power anymore.
No, he still punches with full power.
Let him out. Let him out.
Straight.
Let him out. Let him out.
Berto, as you mentioned, had a history of these kind of tumultuous fights in the amateurs. Of course, in the amateurs...
Seen the last knockdown in this fight?
Not I. Not as long as they're throwing what they're throwing. And fans may be surprised to see scorecards winding up fairly even toward the end of the fight when most of the spectacle has been provided by Ortiz. Now Ortega tells Berto he's holding.
Good as they were earlier. Berto likes to say that skills pay the bills with Harold on the last round.
The back of the head.
But he's not going to lay back the way he did.
Next time you're behind the head, I'm going to take a point. You understand that? Okay.
Ortega.
Watch your head.
I asked earlier if there was an American fighter in the house
collide, they're going right together. If he would just move forward and then pull back for a minute.
One is just fresh, and their legs aren't.
He needs one big shot. He's really got to do something spectacular. 86-83.
Shot. Michael Ortega discerns that Ortiz hit Berto in the back of the head, and now he's going to take a point.
I think that's a terrible call.
No, he was bending his head down. The guy was throwing his punches.
An amazing display of tenacious, hard punching. As we mentioned, the slugfest all the way. An imprint with his skill, but it's really difficult, isn't it? Timing punches. These are huge shots which are landing for both fighters, having had a point taken away. This no doubt is the motivation to try to make the round an even round, and energized by the nature of the fight they're in.
Befitting his status, Berto, ambitious fighters who want to be great men in this sport.
Ortiz, and wound up against the ropes, trying to get the ropes to help him stand up.
That's a holding.
Oh my God.
Behind Pacquiao and Mayweather in the welterweight division. And that this is Ortiz would land another
And Ortiz
couple of
is
clean
doing
punches.
just what he should. He's working that right uppercut.
Trainer Tony Morgan has asked him to remember that he has a good jab.
If he loses this fight, then for any fight that he's won, the overwhelming favorite to retain his title.
They've been fighting it. They're still throwing punches with full power and all the way through.
You're winning by 5 points. 4 or 5 points, Victor. You're winning the fight. You're going to be the world champion.
There you see where the point was deducted from Ortiz when he threw a left hand and missed. Berto went down.
Danny Garcia has been largely a cheerleader throughout the fight.
Question is, can he hold it for one more round?
You know, to tell your fighter that he's up.
There were some in the past several months who wondered whether he really had the commitment.
It surprised a lot of people, most of all, how well he's taken.
Another stratosphere. And fans will not be able to weight the soul, the heart of a fighter. No one will question his heart after tonight. He has created for himself a style which is about risk, and he just got hit with 2 big shots.
Both fighters went up.
But if the stock of both fighters went up,
Ortiz right now, I think, is the welterweight champion.
another big left hand for Ortiz. This was excitement.
Step back. Take time.
Barring a stunning reversal on the judges' cards, now let's go to ring announcer David Diamante with the scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action here, we go to the judges' scorecards. For your winner, by unanimous decision, and new WBC Welterweight Champion of the World, Vicious Victor Ortiz.